Hello and welcome to CloudFolks HUB. My name is Bhavesh Addara. I have my application and I want to launch this application inside ECS. Now if you want to launch your application inside ECS, you have to create service. Now whenever I am going to create service, here we have so many options. So what we are doing, we are going to explore each and every option of create service, and then we will launch our application through the service over here in ECS. Now, we already discussed about so many options, and in this particular video, we are going to talk about deployment failure detection option. What is this deployment detection failure? What is circuit breaker? What is CloudWatch alarm? I'm going to explain you everything in this particular video. So let's start. We are going to understand this particular option using mind map. So let me start with introduction. First of all, you all already know about rolling update and blue-green deployment in ECS. Our last two videos was all about rolling update and blue-green. I already explained you about these two options related to the deployment strategy. Now, if you don't know about it, I recommended you to watch these videos first and then come back. But if you don't want to watch this right now, let me give you brief detail about this. Normally, when you deploy a new version of your application, ECS launches new task, and once they become healthy, it removes the older one. Let me show you using this particular picture. Let's say that I have version 1 of my application, and these 4 tasks are running actually for version 1. What I can say that these tasks are actually running. Right? It is running. Now, I just updated my application, so I have version 2 of my application as well. Now, in this case, how we are going to rolling update? So, ECS will launch new task. For new task with version 2, right? Now, after launching, ECS will wait for this task to become healthy. Okay, healthy. Now, once these new tasks will be healthy, ECS will remove older tasks, right? This is how it is going to rolling update. Now, how we are going to launch new tasks, how we are going to remove older tasks, all this is totally dependent on the strategies which you are using. It can be rolling update or blue-green deployment, right? So, I just give you brief detail about these two. Now, here in this particular process, we have one condition. Let's understand this as well. But now imagine, what if new task never become healthy? See, you have your all these version 1 task are running, right? You are actually using any strategy, so it is going to launch new task. But the problem is, these new tasks are actually stuck. ECS will roll over this when they will become healthy. But the problem is, these new tasks are actually not going to become healthy. It is actually stuck. Now, in this particular condition, one option is useful, which is deployment failure detection. Now, in this particular condition, this option will be helpful, right? To understand this particular option, we are going to talk about like condition. Let's say that I'm not going to enable this. Yeah, in the deployment failure detection, I have two options. I'm not going to touch any of this option. Now, what will happen? If you have not enabled deployment failure detection, ECS will just keep waiting and your deployment may get stuck. You have to fix it manually. Means you are in this particular situation, you have old tasks running, version 1 tasks running, these new tasks are not actually becoming healthy. Now, you have to solve problem and ECS is not going to help you in this particular condition. Even ECS is not going to detect failure of this new version task. Okay. Now, if you enable this option, if you have enabled deployment failure detection, ECS will automatically stop this bad deployment and roll back to the last working version. Means here, if you enable this, ECS will find out that, okay, now these tasks are actually not going to become healthy. So let's remove them and let's work with this particular running version. So the whole process will be automatic and it would be very helpful to troubleshoot the situation as well. Okay. ECS will wait for certain amount of time, let's say a few minutes. If new tasks are still failing or not passing the health check, ECS understand that this new version is not good. Okay, so this is how the things are actually working. Now, if you look at over here, we have mainly two options. The first is circuit breaker. Now, when you enable this, we have another option as a sub. It is rollback the failure. So, what we are doing, we are going to understand these two. So, let's start with circuit breaker option. This option tells ECS to watch your deployment carefully. If new tasks are crashing, failing health check or not running properly, ECS will detect that the deployment is failing. But just detection is not enough. See, if you enable circuit breaker, right, if you just enable this, what will happen? ECS will verify status of this particular task. Okay, ECS will detect that these new tasks are not going to become healthy. It is just going to detect this. It is not going to take any action. It is not going to roll back to the previous version, nothing. But it is just going to detect this. Circuit breaker is just going to detect this. Okay. Now, after detection, it is just going to show you that your new task is not becoming healthy. It is crashing or whatever the status we have, but it is not going to take any action. Now, you have to take action manually. If you just going to select this particular option, means ECS will detect this. But if you going to select this particular option along with this as well, it is going to roll back. So let's understand rollback of failure. This option tells ECS to take action after failure is detected. You are going to detect failure using circuit breaker. Now once you detect failure, you can take action. Now what is action? If you enable this option, ECS will automatically go back to the last working version. So it will find out that, okay, this new V2 is not working. Let's go back to the version 1. This process will be automatic, means rolling back will be automatic. If you do not enable, ECS will just stop the deployment, but you must manually fix or roll back it yourself. So it is always good idea to select this option as well. So rollback will be automatic, right? Now you understand about deployment failure detection, circuit breaker and rollback. We have another option as well. It is known as CloudWatch alarm. I am going to explain you CloudWatch alarm now. So let me close all this and let's understand what is CloudWatch alarm.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Atara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying 499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages videos of AWS. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.